Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3 for the Scythe run. This will be the final part. As I said before, the Scythe goes a bit faster than the other weapons. Now, again, as I said before, I do get the second Genshin fight on video, which is good because it shows a better strategy how to take him down, and it was really getting on my nerves that every other one, was cutting off the Genshin encounter. For the remaining two weapons are the Sarigama and the Flails. I'm not sure when I'll be able to get those done. I'll go back to university in a couple of weeks. Obviously, NG2 is going to go pretty low on the list of priorities. But I will get them done. I will finish the series, definitely, but whether I'll have the time to do full 2-round run for those weapons, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not really that bothered about doing 2 rounds for them, though. Like, with every other video, I think a lot of stuff has been covered, so, I'm not sure whether they need 2 full rounds, but I'll think about that more when it's relevant. Just getting back to this one for a second, you'll notice there that Incendiary Shuriken just did a hell of a lot of damage to me. I'm not exactly sure why. It did seem like it did like a hell of a lot more than it does normally. But again, it's just an example of the damage increase when you go up a wave. For certain things, it's a hell of a lot more than it is for others. Again, though, just for the most part, you just want to concentrate on chaining UTs and maximising your score in any way that you possibly can. Again, relating to the last 2 videos, not sure whether I'll do commentary for them. I really can't think of anything else to say, bar the obvious. Like, I'll narrate, the combos and everything I do for those videos and like what I'm thinking, but narrating the whole things might not happen because I'm just kind of 100% out of stuff to talk about right now. Like, I really can't think of anything I haven't covered in survival, bar what I said I was going to cover. So I think I'll just be kind of repeating myself over and over again for the last 2 videos if I do commentary on all of them. But again, for this wave, this is a much better example of using the shurikens to get a big combo out of the mages and zombies. So it's always good to do that. Trick for the zombies as well. It works the same in NGB. If you can take off the zombies' heads, they won't be able to fire their cannons directly at you because obviously they can't see. So they'll just fire their cannons blindly. So it's a lot easier to charge UTs on when you've got headless zombies around because they can't see you. Again, it's much easier if you can just take off their cannon arm because then they can't shoot cannons. They can't shoot their cannonballs at all, which is their most dangerous attack. Again, you can see the mages going for grapples a lot. That's one thing I definitely think is a deliberate increase on the later levels. Like the enemies, they really go for their grapples a hell of a lot more than they usually do, especially grapple-heavy enemies like mages and dogs. So obviously that's something you want to take into account and adjust your strategy accordingly. Again, for this wave, you want to focus on the mechs and the werewolves primarily. Again, just some stuff to take them out really fast. The werewolves, an ET will always delimb them. It won't kill them, but it will delimb them, so you can just ET them and then OT them to get them out of the way straight away. It's the same story for mechs. UTs and OTs will only ever delimb them. Unfortunately, it won't kill them. It'll always take off their head, and then you can just OT them. Combos to take out mechs without UTs. The quadruple Y is probably the best combo to use on mechs if you've got no essence for UTs. And to whittle down their health when you're surrounded, you can always use the in-air XXY or in-air XY, whichever one you feel more comfortable using. Again, for this one, I'm focusing on the ninjas a bit more now to try and get the 5 times multiplier, because I do want to kill this Genshin with a 5 times multiplier, because it's a lot easier to do that. And I'd really love that OT. But yeah, it's a lot easier to do that because he only has 1 set of mages, and obviously he's not going to take as long to kill. So it's much easier to do that on the second wave. Again, getting ready for the in the rocket launcher wave. Again, with the shurikens, just alternate your joystick when you're pressing B, and Ryu will aim at different ones. This one doesn't go quite as smoothly as the other one did, but as long as you'll always be able to delim at least 2 of them at the start, and delimbing 2 is better than delimbing none. There's so many rockets coming at you in this. Even getting 1 is better than nothing. So always start off with that incendiary shuriken strategy because it just lessens the amount of projectile spam you've got to fight against. Now again, bunching them up is a great way to take these guys out a lot quicker, because obviously if you use Y attacks regularly, you'll just you'll OT them, and so if you get a bit further away and use the Y combo is really good. It's always great when you get a Nimpo orb just before the final Genshin, because you can just activate Nimpo straight away and take out all the mages if they cooperate, as in this case they didn't, so I've got to kill them anyway. UT is obviously great if you can get them in. I've got a Nimpo orb there, and the mage is out, he's not underground, so there's no reason to, you know, use anything else really, so I can just use my Inferno to take him out straight away. And again, this is the strategy I'm talking about. Stick to the every other strategy as you always do. I'm trying the quadruple Y combo here. It's not till a bit later that I remember that, you know, you can just stall the attacks, and it's a much better strategy. And here's a perfect example of getting it in. You can get 4 hits in, but sometimes you can get 5 if you feel like, you know, if you feel lucky, you can go for the 5th hit. You don't really need to, because, you know, you can still do quite a bit of damage to him. And as I said there, you know, it's a really good way to keep Genshin pinned. And even when you can only get 1 hit on him, like 2 hits, sorry, because sometimes you'll get a 2-hit opportunity and then he'll teleport. You can get 2 hits of them in, and you can immediately block. That's why it's such a good move to use, because the recovery frames for it are pretty much non-existent, and it's very similar to that in the Flail's forward Y move, for, not Flail's, Talon's forward Y move, sorry for taking out Genshin. There is a bit longer on the Mentor wave, it doesn't cut off straight away, and I'll just talk about that a little bit. The Mentor and Master Ninja waves are, obviously, you're going to be changing up your strategy pretty significantly. I always play extremely aggressively on the first 2 rounds, but for the Mentor and Master Ninja round, you can't really play like that. And you're not going to get as many points on them either. You know, there's no way you'll score like 5 million from a Master Ninja or Mentor round, because you have to be so cautious. You can't just spam UTs and take hits, because the hits you'll be taking, you know, will take off about a quarter of your health bar, so you definitely can't do that. And already you can see that I'm being a little bit more cautious. I'm not just going for straight combo spamming. You know, I'm using the in-air XY a lot more than I would be, well, not a lot more, but more cautious than I would be usually. And that's right there's the on-landing Y move. You don't really see it a lot, because obviously on-landing Y is with the Scythe, there's usually the UT. But in the next wave you can see just, you know, a good example of how, you know, you need to be a bit more cautious. So you get the starting UT, and you really want to try and just chain UTs for this. And the guillotine throw is obviously a great move to spam against IS ninjas. That right there was XYY. And again, you can already see that, you know, the projectiles, just the little bits of like given damage, you know, the chipping away damage that they do, is a hell of a lot more on the higher modes, on the higher rounds. So that's something you definitely want to take into account. But that's going to do it for the Scythe video. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video.